30 days ago on December 31st, 2024, I set a goal for myself to get monetized on YouTube. And up until January 29th, it still didn't look like it was going to happen. Now, to get monetized on YouTube, you do need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I did know about the 1,000 subscriber part, but I didn't know about the 4,000 watch hours, which I don't think we talk about enough, but that is a discussion that we certainly are going to be having in this video. Up until January 29th, I was still at like 3,800 watch hours. So basically, watch hours are the number of hours that people get to spend watching your videos. And unless you're able to get 4,000 of those hours in the last 365 days, you will not qualify to apply for monetization and get your monetization process started. So if you're looking to monetize on YouTube or monetize on any other platform that you may be on, this video is for you. In this video, we're going to be talking all things monetization, but especially monetizing on YouTube and how I managed to do it in 30 days. I just want to prefix this by saying I am not in any way a YouTube expert. I have my degree in Instagram and law, okay? I do not know anything about YouTube. I've been doing social media for so many years, but YouTube for me has always sort of been just an intimidating territory that must never be interrogated. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but if you're watching this and you feel like intimidated by the platform or just like a platform to you that should never be like touched, then this video is for you, because that's exactly how I was. Even though I had done social media for so many years, it just was such a foreign concept to me. And when it comes to monetization, I know about monetizing with starting your own business and having your own brand run on Instagram and being able to sort of build a community around your business. There was also the monetization of brand partnerships, which I had a good understanding of. But when it came down to having a platform pay you solely for the video that you're creating, like YouTube does, it just seemed so impossible, and something about it just seemed very intimidating. I also am a very introverted person, and even though I can do short videos or long form short videos on Instagram, the concept of staying in front of a camera just spilling my guts was always just terrifying. I'm saying all this to say this is me sharing my unique, authentic experience on the platform since the last 30 days, and I am not in any way a YouTube expert, and I do not consider myself to be one. Now, when I set this goal for myself, it wasn't more so the monetization of it all. It was the fact that I really just wanted to incentivize my reasoning for showing up the way I wanted to. And in that regard, I knew that if I set a goal and gave myself the target of monetization, I would have more reason to want to show up on the platform as consistently as possible. However, I don't care so much for the monetization, at least not right now. I still haven't even gotten my first check yet. Don't know when that is going to come in, or if it's going to be $100, $10, or $100,000. I'm still not quite sure how the monetization structure works. The ultimate goal for me was to diversify my content and diversify my audience across different platforms. We already have over 250,000 followers on Instagram. We have a good number of subscribers on the email list. We sort of kind of have a TikTok going, but YouTube was just a territory that was never touched. Now, I did do quite a good number of shorts, but it was never enough to really get me there or get me to even barely 1,000 subscribers. I was mostly resharing my Instagram content and just putting it on YouTube, but it wasn't doing the job that I wanted it to do. Now, I would let you know, I have been on YouTube for 3 years. I just never used it. So when I say I got monetized in 30 days, it's not that I joined YouTube 30 days ago, is that I started taking it seriously 30 days ago. And at the time when I started, I barely had 1,000 subscribers, and I certainly did not have 4,000 watch hours. So I was nowhere near monetization status at all. I think I barely had like a couple hundreds of watch hours, which is still like barely 10% or 20% of what you need to actually get monetized. And so technically, I could consider this as me starting from the scratch. If you are like me and are trying to get into the space with short form content or just YouTube shorts, that could work for you, but it will take so much longer. And if you're setting a goal for 30 days like I did, then you certainly want to look into long form videos. Long form videos are absolutely not dead. I said this last year on my Instagram, and I'm going to say it again. Long form videos are not going anywhere anytime soon. People are starting to go back to the comfort of long form videos and are starting to sort of build a parasocial relationship with people that they can consider comfort creators. In order to be a comfort creator, you do need to let your audience fully connect with you and build a relationship with you from getting to see versions of themselves in you. And one of the best ways to let people really get to know you and connect with you and understand your mannerisms or how you articulate yourself or the inflections in your voice and how you get passionate about different topics or whatever the case is, That can really only ever happen when you let yourself be open to sharing long form content and just be vulnerable enough to cock your camera up and yap like I'm doing right now. But there is a method to the madness. The mistake a lot of creators make is that they want to let themselves be the spotlight and have themselves take center stage with their content, but your audience is not here to look at you, but to live through you. They want to see life through your eyes. They want to feel like the hero of the story. They are the hero of the story. Social media, regardless of whatever platform it is an attention game, and attention is the currency of any platform. As long as you're able to keep people on the platform and keep people watching your videos and have your videos be the reason any person gets to stay on the platform for even 10 seconds longer, the algorithm is always going to fall in line. Now, I say all of this to say, if you are here serving the algorithm thinking that is going to be the end all be all and the savior to your account, you're wasting your time. Impact over income would always bring in the income. Impact over growth would always bring in the growth. If you authentically show up to serve your audience and have them consistently be the hero of the story, the algorithm would have no choice but to fall in line. We can just go ahead and wrap the video up right here because that is everything you need to know. I can tell you a million different things and spend an hour on this video telling you all the strategy and all the back end work and the technicalities of having a YouTube channel. But the real core of the story, and if there's anything I need you to take out of this video, it's the fact that you will not have a successful experience on this platform if you're not able to let your audience be the hero of the story. Their success story becomes yours, and how they experience your content determines how far you're gonna go on the platform. The longer people stay on your videos, the quicker you're gonna reach that 4,000 watch hours. Getting the attention of your audience is one thing, but sustaining their attention throughout the entirety of your video is even more important. You certainly do not want to come off as a clickbait creator. When you make your videos, try forgetting about the semantics of needing to reintroduce yourself every single time. Now, I know that could be a strategy for a lot of creators here on YouTube, but it's just not one that I find to be very important or a make or break for your content. I personally did not see the need to have to reintroduce yourself. Imagine if you were friends with a creator, or as a friend, imagine one of your closest friends, every single time they saw you, they said, "Hi, my name is Jeff. Welcome to, X, Y, and Z," and then they start talking to you. You're just not going to be as excited about the conversation. Matter of fact, you're probably going to walk away from that conversation. The same thing happens here. You don't need to reintroduce yourself every time. Another thing that I find that you don't need to do every single time is remind people to subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever the case. I personally do not find it to be a make or break for your video because, believe it or not, people know exactly what action to take whenever they experience your content. They know when to like it, they know when to share, they know when to leave a comment. Whatever strategy you think you're working on as far as a call to action goes, please drop it. It's not going to be the thing that saves your content, and it's certainly not going to be the thing that breaks it. If anything, you're going to start to come off as a turnoff if you always have to remind them to take action, haven't consumed your content. Just let people enjoy your videos and then let them take action afterwards as they see fit. They know what to do. A couple of days ago, I uploaded a video where I was just so passionately spilling my guts and just talking about how I felt about a certain topic. It was the video about influencers lying on TikTok, and I was just so passionate about it, and I kept going on a tangent, and eventually I edited the video, had everything out, and I just put it out there. 4 or 5 hours later, I realized I didn't have a single description on that video. There was no caption. There was nothing on it. There was no tag to subscribe or leave a comment or anything like that. And at the time that I realized, it was like 4 or 5 hours in, and it already was at like 4,000 views. That tells you everything you need to know when I say sharing your unique perspectives and putting your audience first, and having an audience first approach would always come before any sort of algorithm. Because if I focused on the algorithm and the correctness of my upload and the description and the tags and the keywords and everything in between, it's not going to make as much of a difference or any difference at all if the quality and the content of the material that I'm sharing is not putting my audience first, because their interaction is what is going to determine how far the algorithm is willing to take my content. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk more about strategy. When it comes to the number of times you should be sharing content on this platform, I personally was sharing once every week, so that should be 4 posts in the past 30 days, but there was a week where I shared twice in that week. I was really excited. I had more to talk about, and I was just like, you know what, let's put it out there. And so I had a total of 5 videos in the last 30 days as far as long form content goes, and I think I shared like 3 to 4 shorts, but those barely did any numbers. I think the highest views on the shorts would probably be like 600 or 700 views, but with the long form content, we had like 25,000 views, 10,000 views, 15,000. And so all of these videos sort of came together and it became a collective that helped me reach 4,000 views so much, 4,000 watch hours so much faster. This is why I emphasize creating long form content, because if I had to depend solely on short form content, it would take a whole lot of short form content to get me to 4,000 views. Even if I had 25,000 views on one short form, it would have to take like 125,000 views to get me to 4,000 plus watch hours versus getting a collective of 65 to around 70,000 views on 5 long form videos. The longer your videos, the higher your chances of reaching that 4,000 watch hours and even faster. And when it comes down to the type of videos that you want to share, the goal really, again, is to just make sure that you're sharing something that can be valuable to your audience. Now, value is relative. When people hear about value, they mostly want to think tutorials or a coach or a mentor. You can be very valuable in your industry as an entertainer. Value spectrum is incredibly large, and in a space like this where people are seeking not just education but entertainment, it is important that you understand that value can come in many different forms, shapes, and ways. Don't box yourself in the name of value to the point where you bore your audience to death and they cannot stand to see you make another video. Keep your audience as the forefront of your entire strategy and let their experience be what guides you throughout your entire content creation process. That is what value really looks like. So as you show up on the platform, prioritizing their experience over everything else is what's going to let you really stand out and be as successful as possible. All right, so now that you are already at 1,000 subscribers, you have your 4,000 watch hours, we are going to go ahead and apply for the monetization process. Before you even begin the monetization process, this is something I didn't know before, but you do need to set up a Google AdSense account. And if you haven't already set up one, before you even start applying for monetization, please go ahead, get out of this video and go set up a Google AdSense account, because that is so important. And it could take up to 2 days for it to be reviewed and then approved, and then you can start your monetization process. I personally didn't know this. So when I started my monetization process, I had to go through the Google AdSense application process and then waited another 1 to 2 days to get approved before I could start my YouTube monetization review. A Google AdSense account is basically where YouTube is going to be paying in all of your checks. So you do want to have your Google AdSense account set up, because that's where all of your payments will be collected. The very first thing you're going to do is make sure that your account is completely secure. YouTube will ask you to go through the 2-factor authentication process. I had to go through that as well. I'm not sure why I did not already have that set up for some weird reason, but they will have you set up that authentication just to secure your account a little more. Lord, I am going ahead of myself. I tend to speak really fast, so I hope you don't mind. YouTube would have you set up that process, and then they will also have you set up your Google AdSense. Once you have those two set up, you will then apply for your monetization, which will take around a couple days. For me, it took around 2 days, and then you finally get that very beautiful, exciting welcome to the partnership program email. It is so beautiful. I was so excited when I saw it, and especially because mine was starting to take a little longer than I thought it would. It was like 2 days at this point, and I was like, oh my gosh, did I not make it? I tend to overthink a lot, so it doesn't take much to really set me off. I was like, oh my gosh, I probably didn't make it. Maybe something's wrong. Maybe I'm not at 4,000 watch hours like I thought I was. I don't know. I was just making up stuff. But eventually I got the welcome email, and it was just so exciting. So you are officially in the monetization program. You also now get access to 24 hours, I think, customer support, which is not something that I personally knew about before. Once you get confirmed and you're officially in the program, you can go in the back end and see all the different monetization options that you can explore. There is the super likes and the super chats and a couple things like that. There are membership options. There is the ad revenue options where you can add advertisements to your videos and you will get paid from those ads. There's a bunch of different ways you can actually get monetized. It's not just from the advertisements. It's so important that you try to look into those and see how many of them you want to explore. If you want to have all of them turned on, or if you only want to depend on the ads, it's really up to you 100%. I think there's even an option to let you actually sell your stuff and like create some sort of a store on your account. Really, really cool. We're going to go ahead and answer a couple of questions that I got from Instagram. I put this up on my story yesterday, and I said that I have been officially accepted into the YouTube partnership program, and I really wanted to get your questions. And that story was shared yesterday, and it has around like 25,000 views right now and around 1,000 responses with questions, but I was only able to get around like 15 that sort of generically answers what most other people have been asking anyways. What is the best way to go? Shorts or long format videos? You already know the answer. Long form videos. I personally think both are great options. If you sort of need a guide to help you kind of get started, short form is good because it's easy, it's quick, it's something you can dish out really quickly. And if you already have an Instagram, you can really just kind of take your stuff from there and repurpose on YouTube. It's a good starting point, but it's not a strategy in itself, in my own opinion. It's something that you can use as a backup plan, but it's not the quickest way to get monetization. If you already monetize and everything's going good for you and you just want to mix it into your strategy, then great, that could really work for you. And I have seen people who build their entire YouTube from just shorts, but it's not an exciting number of people. It's very little, and I would always go for long form. You also don't want to just be monetized just for the sake of it, at least not for me. I really want to connect with my audience and really build a community here and connect with my people. So I prioritize long form content because short form could get you the monetization. It could get you the 4,000 views, however long it takes for you to get there, but it's not going to really help you build a community. It's just going to help you have a machine that produces income for you every month. That's not really what it is for me. And, you know, if you're watching this and you're really trying to build a community, then I would say long form content. But if you're just looking for another source of income and just something that can passively run on its own by itself without you really needing to connect with people, then yeah, you certainly can do short form. But that's really what I think about it. How did you stay consistent in your routine? I incentivized and I set a goal for myself. Honestly, I must say this too. I have built the habit of showing up since the past 5 years of doing social media. So this was just yet another platform to show up on. And I already kind of knew how to be present in the space. I also need to say that I'm a 25-year-old unmarried individual who does this as their full-time job. So I wouldn't necessarily compare myself to you or have myself be the standard as to how you should be consistent or show up, because it's just not an even playing field for all of us. Now, you may be watching this as a 35-year-old, you may be watching this as a person in your 40s or even a person in your 20s, but you may be married with kids or just with kids, whatever the case. We all have very different scenarios in our lives and, you know, very different perspectives as to how we navigate life every day. And so it's unfair and also unrealistic to set your timeline based on another person's pace, because it's just not going to be the same. I would advise that you're realistic in your timing. I would advise that you are graceful to yourself and understand what is currently going on in your life and how you can show up with that full understanding. For you, you might be able to show up even more than me. Maybe you're able to show up 8 times a month. Don't limit yourself to 5 times just because I did 5 times. Or you might not be able to show up 5 times. You might be able to show up 30 times, but with longer form videos. And that might be what works best for you, and that's okay. Understand your schedule, understand your pace and your timeline, and set your goal accordingly. Did you advertise on other platforms that you were on YouTube? Absolutely. I shared every single time on my Instagram. When there was a new video on YouTube, I would put a snippet up there from my long form. I would cut snippets of it into short form content. Not only was that helping me stay consistent on Instagram as well, because I was like basically killing two birds with one stone. But it also just helped promote the video anyway. So absolutely share your videos on other platforms. If you have another platform where you are buzzing, please share it there. If you have friends or whatever the case is that you want to have promote your videos, do that. I didn't need to do that because I already had or have a platform on Instagram where I have a whole community on there that I'm so grateful for. And so this was an opportunity to let them know that we have other things happening as well on YouTube. And there is now a long form part of my brand that they can explore and enjoy. So please share it on your other platforms for sure. How do you edit your videos? Because I am struggling. CapCut. Are you meeting your YouTube? Are you mixing? I think this person means mixing. Are you mixing your YouTube content with SEO keywords? Absolutely not. I don't believe in keywords. Again, I'm not an expert, okay? So you probably shouldn't listen to me. I am not a YouTube expert. However, I am an expert with social media, and I know that keywords are great, but they are not the end-all be-all for your account. The content of your work is really what matters the most. I told you the story of how I shared a video without even a description, a caption, no keywords, nothing. I just posted the video and it had, I think now it's at 10,000 views, which it might not be a lot for a lot of people, but for me, as a new creator on the platform, it is a lot. And I'm very grateful for those 10,000 views. And on Instagram as well, I wouldn't consider that to be a lot because on Instagram, I have all these number of followers. But here, that is a lot of views. And I'm grateful for literally even 10 views, all right? Basically, my point is it just goes to show that keywords are not the make or break for your content, because if that video could perform still beautifully at 10,000 views without any caption or any keywords or any description or nothing, it just tells you that you don't really need it. Should you have it as a part of your strategy? Absolutely. But should you pay attention to that so much so that you don't remember to give even more attention to the quality of the work that you're putting out? Absolutely not. If you were to start from scratch with no large following on any platforms, how would you go about it and what topics would you gravitate towards? When I started on Instagram, I had less than 1,000 followers. I had around 500 followers, and it was just people from college or like, you know, family and friends. It wasn't like anyone that I needed to actually build a community. And so technically I could say I started from scratch on Instagram with 500 followers. And if I were to do that again, and I did that here, but if I were to do that again on Instagram or in any platform, it really just comes down to sharing your unique perspective and allowing your unique opinions be what you lead by instead of depending on what you think is helping everyone else go viral. Virality is not a strategy. Trends are not a strategy. Your one and only strategy really is your unique perspective and the people that you're here to serve. The algorithm doesn't even matter. That is what you should be doing. And that is how you should frame the topics that you do talk about. A lot of social media experts say, as someone with very little subscribers, creating vlogs will not help you grow a following. But my interest is in lifestyle content, and I thought vlogging would be the best way to share that lifestyle content. I guess my question is, should I vlog or should I change my content? Honestly, if you must vlog, just make sure it's not only focusing on you. People are here for what they stand to gain. People are in it for themselves, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If your content is not able to keep people on the platform, keep them engaged, keep them entertained, or keep them inspired or educated, you're not going to have a place on this platform. As you share those vlogs, please by all means have the time of your life, but have the time of your life in a way that is letting your audience not see you as a threat or a competition, but as a person who they can actually live through. So if you are a student in college, instead of just showing yourself partying and making that be the day in your life, so you could actually give a personality to that day in the life and say, welcome to a day in the life of a 25-year-old law school student. That is so much more engaging than a welcome to a day in my life. One of them focuses on the experience the audience should expect to get out of it and sets that expectation from the jump, versus the other where the audience cannot quite tell where the direction of the video is going to go, but they are demanded to trust you because you've decided to make this all about you. So if I were a 25-year-old law school student watching that video, I already want to see what your version of this life looks like, because I am going through it too. And yes, I want to see what yours looks like. That is serving me. This is the difference between those two videos and why vlogging can be a very slippery slope if you do not do it correctly. I'm always confused about what songs you can use and can't use. I wouldn't know how best to advise you on that. I just personally did not use any songs on my video because there is the possibility of copyright claims, and just in general, I just like the vibe of speaking without audio. I think it's so much more intentional of a way to let your audience hear you out without disguising under the tune of a soundtrack. Do what works for you, but if you wanted to speak about the technicalities of things in the copyright process, you may have to research and find what works best and what is not claimed by copyright, and then use that for your videos. Please show if you use your phone for vlogging for Instagram, if that's possible, and what it looks like, camera settings, and how to upload or add music. I do not use my phone for YouTube. I use a Sony. This camera is a Sony a6400, and I have an 18 to 55 millimeter lens, I think, and it is 2.8 aperture. That is my filming video setup. And for my phone, I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max. So I typically would use this for Instagram, and I use my digital camera for YouTube. But lately I'm starting to use my camera for YouTube more, for Instagram more than I use my phone, just because I'm constantly out of space on this thing. I've literally tried everything. I don't know what it is. It never ends. And I was starting to get overwhelmed. So I decided I would only just film my YouTube and my Instagram videos on this camera, as it works beautifully. I think the quality is pretty good. As far as the phone camera, when I do use it, I film on 4K at 60 frames per second. It's the best way to really get that crisp, beautiful quality out of your videos, and it works every time, all right? Chef's kiss. So that is my monetization journey, and that is really pretty much everything I think you need to know when it comes down to monetizing on YouTube and really creating that space for yourself on this platform. I think it's a beautiful opportunity, and I'm so blessed to be a part of the program, whatever that means. I honestly don't know what the dynamics of that is going to be. I could make a follow-up video when I get my first check. Let me know if you would want to see that video. I would be happy to make that and give you like a follow-up. But yeah, excited to be a part of the program, excited to be able to diversify my content. If you are just watching me for the first time or just seeing me for the first time, welcome. This is a beautiful community and I'm so happy to have you here. I cannot wait to chat with you in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.